Alright, so market recap from Friday, January 16th. I personally did not take anything. Um, but this is, through hindsight, what you could have taken. So, coming into the day, I actually wanted. Well, let me actually get my journal because I do outlooks for myself every single day. So, this was Alex. I did want to take long that Wick theory level, which I missed because of school. But if we look at the lower time frame, it did play out. Gave like 4 points to drawdown. I would have just targeted this high. I wouldn't have been greedy. So with a 10-point stop, would have risked like one fit. So yeah, I'm not gonna go over what I should have done, but that was that trade. Pretty clean at EL, and then we swept into the yeah, no, it's pretty clean. EL swept into this Wick theory. Could have got longs here, and then shorts here could have been a play. So I was kind of looking at this. I mean, price, it was pretty unclear, in my opinion, but you give SMT, with this high, obviously trading above Asia in London, and in a premium, but so, obviously I wouldn't have wanted longs because we're above midnight open, so I wouldn't have wanted to long, above here, to be honest. So once we have SMT and we hit this deviation here, I don't think there was really any other deviation, to be honest, that we tapped. Manipulation of midnight. I don't think there was anything here, to be honest. No. There wasn't really anything, to be honest. I guess there was this too that you could have lined up, but anyway, so longs into shorts would have been pretty clean previous day. Obviously we swept this previous day's high and closed below. Even though we did close bullish, I would want this low to be the draw. Obviously, 4 expansion candles. If a CISD here as well, there's order block here. But yeah, we try to accumulate, reach max expansion of this 4-hour and midnight, and we get a 5-minute rejection block with SMT. Pretty clean, and you could have long the CE, which aligned with the fib, I believe. Yeah, 0.79 of the fib, could have run a 10-point stop. Could have got that for shorts. That would have been pretty clean, to London lows. And then after this huge dump, we tapped the daily open, and then the 10 a.m. open, top daily open, and we have these relative equal lows below. That's a clear draw. And so price manipulates up into a 5-minute gap, and then we get a bearish rejection block created, and then you could just enter on the start of it, and 10-point stop, and boom, you could have caught shorts, just like that, to the relative equal lows. So, yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, something you gotta learn how to see and read. Today, to be honest, bias wasn't the most clear, pretty choppy, but these trades right here were pretty simple. Just 5 minute, like just simple like continuation, like we say SMT high. This deviation probably aligns too. So yeah, this would be good too, because like the 2s align with the relative equal lows, and the 1.5 to 1 is here. So like we'd expect to top here, reaccumulate into this 5 minute gap, and then go lower. It wouldn't make sense necessarily to come back to this 5 minute gap and then go lower, because then you would price would have to inverse this 5 minute gap to go lower, you know, and that just wouldn't really make sense, to be honest. So yeah, and gotta be able to learn to see these like continuation trades before they happen. Obviously, hindsight, it's so easy to be like, oh yeah, that was in like good trade, but like realistically, like seeing this while it's playing out is really hard and something you just have to learn over time. But yeah, no, both these trades were solid. After the dump, you know, through this 1 hour gap, like it's pretty obvious we're gonna go to these relative equal lows. So just a nice like pullback to 5 minute gap, continue it, create a 1 minute bearish close out of that CE of the 5 minute, enter on start of the rejection block, target the relative equal lows. Pretty clean trade. This is exactly what Powell took. Like he entered, like same confluence as everything. This is exactly why he took the trade. And you know, it's something you just have to learn to be able to see. You know, 5 minute tap, rejection block created out of it. Pretty solid and clear draw now, aligning with our deviation. So this would have been really nice. This one maybe not as much, but this one for sure. But yeah, you know, you just gotta learn to trust these setups, trust yourself. You know, this setup gave SMT with 2 deviations and, you know, relative equal lows below us, and an untapped 4 hour gap below, and we swept previous 4 hour high, so longs wouldn't really have wanted longs, to be honest. But yeah, pretty clean trade, pretty clean continuation here, and then, you know, here. I mean, you understand there's an expansion move every single day in price, and you just have to learn to catch it. And what do you know? Expansion, and what are, you know, off of SMT, 2 deviations. There wasn't really a high time frame PD ray, except there's this devil's mark there. What's the, if we take 0.75 of the daily wick, so, but yeah, nothing crazy with the breaker. But yeah, once you get like a 5 minute locked in SMT, I mean that's like 5 minute SMT that flips bearish. Like that's a pretty, like if you get an SMT and on the wait, you have to always wait for the 5 minute at least, and the 5 minute candle that gives the SMT flip closes bearish. That should be and we have a deviation here, deviation zone. Like that should be a pretty clear confirmation to be short, and we would have been above 2 key opens as well. So that would have been super clean. But anyway, just gotta learn to take these trades, to be honest, man. And it's just about high time frame draw. So yeah, drawing liquidity. It's all about drawing liquidity, and from there, just getting precise entries is just from, you know, using PD rays and the fib, and taking the CEs and OTE. It's pretty simple. But yeah, that's it for today's market recap.